And then there's just like a backyard, and that was just kind of like a random area, you know. And then we got to Katui, and what we saw, like, it was like walking into a different world. It was just weird. Young kids, like little boys especially, they didn't really wear pants. They just had shirts on. And at first I was like, but that's the norm there. So, and they had very few shoes. Like if you had pants, you didn't have shoes, or if you had shoes, you didn't have pants, and like just that kind of thing. Rough streets again. Don't know why I said it twice. Apparently it was really bad. But they would go to a well about half mile to a mile away, fill up water for the week, and keep it in a trough in their, like behind their house that they would share with the livestock. And that was their drinking water and everything for an entire week. And then they would go back and do it again. And we got to the school, and the playground there was just like swings out of cutout rubber and wood. Like there would just be like wood blocks with a chain attached to it, or like a cutout random like piece of rubber with a chain attached to it. And then like they had one basketball goal, and like that the kids could play with. And then they had like tires that the kids could jump in or something like that. But there's the view from the playground. And then there's I was like up in the school, and I took that picture, and there's all the kids and stuff. And yeah, and also they didn't have any cars. Like they either had a motorcycle or they didn't have anything. And like that car in the picture is just the one that we took up there also. And they would have like 10-year-olds driving motorcycles with like 3 other kids in the back, and that was weird to see. Okay, and then the kids, they don't really get, like, they get basic stuff, but they don't get, like, toys or anything. So they were very obsessive with small gifts. They would, like, fist fight over them for a marker. We gave them a marker, and they would fist fight over it, and there were, like, 10 others. And, like, just, like, the savage way they handled each other, you know, they wanted that, so they were going to do anything to get it. They were very swarming. Like if you pulled out like a piece of paper or anything, you had like 5 kids coming to you immediately. And their favorite thing to do was get piggyback rides. Like you could just carry them and run around, and they would just be entertained for hours. That got really tiring after a while. And they did a lot of singing and dancing and just that kind of thing. And that was a lot of fun to see. Even when they did, like you could see the very best of humanity and the very worst of humanity all there. I mean, it was like just one of those things that you'll never forget what it was like seeing that kind of stuff. Okay, so on the left, those are 2 girls from my group, Elaine and Ivy. Well, we call her Lainey, but Lainey and Ivy. And then the 2 girls on the bottom, that's my favorite picture. You could see how happy they were. They were holding like Polaroid pictures because, again, they don't really get their pictures taken and everything like that. But it was just so fun to see them all happy. And then on the right, that's me and a little girl. And I'm wearing pants because you couldn't wear shorts, so you had to wear pants the entire time. It was so hot. But we were working out there, and the little girl, she was so little that the only thing she could really do without getting hurt by the other kids was swing. So, like, I had to, like, push her. And then one kid got mad that he couldn't be on the swing, that he started, like, shaking her swing, like, saying that he was pushing her. So I had to say facile, which apparently means easy in Spanish. And that's, like, literally all I said the entire day was facile. And it was rough. And then there's just some of the kids. You can kind of see them swarming around, like just trying to get to one thing, you know, like one marker. They would all swarm around. And then there's 2 girls with a picture and everything. And there's John Cena playing with the kids. He would play this game called Rocket, where he would lift up the kids and like put them down. And he did that at least 100 times that day. And they all called him John Cena too. They'd come up to him and say, "John Cena." Just, it was so funny. And then we did a prayer walk in Tui. That was the first thing we did. But we walked around just a few blocks, and we actually asked them, we were like, hey, can we pray for you? And we were never turned away, like once. We were actually invited into the homes, and they were all super small, and there were like 10 of us coming in, and we couldn't fit, but the owners did the best they could for us. Like, they had 2 plastic, those like plastic chairs that you have just like sitting around. They're really like, they're not stable at all. They had those, but they offered up that, and they offered up like literally their entire home to us just so we could pray for them. It was amazing. We were never turned away. Like in America, they would probably open the door like a crack and then say no and slam the door in your face. But then they didn't have doors to do that. But they invited us in, and it was just amazing. But like just the love that they showed us and everything like that, it was just pure love, something that you don't see all the time. Very poor conditions, as you know. And they had an epileptic boy chained to the wall. So he had like uncontrollable seizures, and it scared the parents because the seizures were so violent. They chained him to a wall. And they left a bowl of water out for him and a red ball to play with, and that's all he had, and they didn't let him out. And he had a brother that he would play with, and he would just play with the boy, and he was still so happy. His name was Jose, and like he was literally, like, we think that we're chained because we don't have any room to do anything, like our parents don't let us do anything. He was literally chained, couldn't do anything, and still was one of the happiest people. It was just amazing. And then we continued walking, and there were 3 siblings, all younger than 5, that their mom had left them to go to the store, and they were just left outside. Like, they had flies around them and everything like that. And it was one of those trips that would have taken the whole day. So one of the little boys had like Down syndrome, and the kids, like, they were very protective over him. Like, the 2 other siblings were very protective, like wouldn't let him get out of their sight, let alone like their grasp or anything. They always had one hand on him, and like that was when I kind of broke down. It was just very, very sad to see, but also, just the love that they showed each other regardless. It was just amazing. And then after we had the prayer walk, we went to the school to paint for the entire day, and we were all still really sick. We were doing things like sanding and chipping and just kind of like getting ready to paint and stuff. We painted the railings, we painted the classrooms. Lots of people got heat stroke, including me that day. It was rough. It was so bad. But we just like kept working. I don't know how we kept working, but we did. And it was a lot of like fun to really work with the people there and really get closer to my group. What we really said is it was just all for the glory of God. We did not, my goal for this trip was not to make myself a better person. I just wanted to help. Really, it was a really good experience for me. And then we had a day off out of the heat stroke day and just all this insane stuff happening. We went to the beach and the market. Okay, this is gonna be my favorite part because I love the beach so much. The waves are powerful. Like, I've been to the beach before, but like the waves there literally like slap you and you're down for a couple seconds. And it was a really good time to bond, and sand got everywhere, and just legitimately pure joy. Like, it was just not a bad thing at all. And then, okay, that's a really bad picture of me that I'm doing. That's Shale. Her American pronunciation is Shale, but it's actually Shale. And she's actually 13. She doesn't look like it at all. And I got really close to her, and I actually am still in touch with her. Like, I've been talking to her today. It was a lot of fun. We went to the market. and apparently the people there grab you, like they grab you by the arm. The vendors there, they'll grab you by the arm and drag you into the store. And the first time that happened to me, it gave me a heart attack. Like I was about to, oh man, it was scary. But they would they would just like shout in your face. They'd be like, "Come to my store," and then they did this thing. And they're like, "Cheapy, cheapy, American, you have money, cheapy, cheapy." And I'm like, "No, I do not have money." And they would just like drag you into their store. They would literally, you'd be walking, and all of a sudden one of them would pop out and drag you in. And I'm like, that's a little sketchy. But they were also really kind vendors. They handed out like Spanish CDs and Christian worship, and they gave like Shale a free bracelet, because they knew that she was helping out us as we try to work for others. Okay, we went back to Katui, another 2-hour bus drive with everyone sick, and our final debrief. There we continued painting the rail, the classrooms, and also the basketball court. We continued bonding with the local kids, and this was my favorite part. But this little girl, she was like 7. She just wanted to be held. Like she just kept she started patting my back, and I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." And she was just like patting my back, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was just like, "Oh," and then she was like, "No, you." Like she wanted me to pat her back, so she was just doing that so I would get her to do it, or I would do it for her. And it was just like, all right, you're like every other kid I know. And she was just so sweet. Like she didn't want to fight over her markers. She just wanted to be held. She just wanted to be loved and paid attention to. And eventually she fell asleep, which like I was literally standing there just crying. And she was probably wondering why I was crying. I just do that all the time, so I had to explain that to her. And then she was just like singing quietly in my ear and everything like that, and like just like holding her, like I could feel her ribs and everything, but just like the love and like just affection like pouring out of her. It was just so amazing. And then I met this little boy named John. He was like 4 years old, and he had Down syndrome, and like he was really afraid of everybody. Like he wouldn't go up to anybody. And so at one point, one of us bent down to like talk to him to make sure he was okay. And he, instead of like answering or anything, he just kissed her on the cheek. Like that's all he did. So it turned out John was a little player. So he did that to a lot of people. And then on our way home, we stopped to see like a mountain lake, which was really cool because number one, I had never seen the mountains before. And it was just like our bus driver just randomly stopped, and he was like, "Out." He didn't speak any English. His name was Fausto. And he was just like, "Out." And we just kept repeating "Te amo, Fausto" after he stopped, and he just made fun of us the entire time. There's the little girl. She's the one on the right that I held. And then there's one of her friends. And then that's me at the mountain lake. It was super cool. And then we had a final debrief. It was really, really emotional because you're saying goodbye to these people that you didn't even know like just a week ago. You didn't know them at all, and now they're a part of your family. I mean, it was just saying goodbye, and it was so hard to do. But it was hard to say goodbye to Shale and Ellie and Julio and Deborah. They were our Dominican guides. And it was hard to say goodbye to them because they really got close to us. They really paid attention to what they thought that we needed and what we needed to see to get closer to God and everything. It was just an amazing time with them, and it was really difficult to say goodbye. And I was ready to go home. I was ready to see my dog, but I did not want to leave at all. If I could have stayed in the Dominican another 2 months, I would have been a heartbeat. And then the next morning we got up at, I missed my parents too, I guess. And then we got up at like 2 a.m. Actually, we got up at 1 a.m., left the house at 2 a.m. To leave from the Dominican to Miami, and then I went to Atlanta, and then I came home. So a lot of flights.
So how do you feel about the USA?
It was different not having to speak Spanish all the time. I love America. It's my country, but I'm definitely missing the Dominican right now. So we split up in Miami once we left the Dominican. We landed, and okay, apparently the TSA hates me in the Dominican and in Miami. So in the Dominican, they took my passport without telling me, and I was just like, "What are you doing?" And so the lady took it, and she just like looked down the other corner of her eye, and she's like, "Displaced," which means after, and I was like, "Displaced what?" And she was just like, "Displaced," and I was like, that's my personal information. I can't leave the country without it, and I need it back, please. And so, like, eventually I got it back, like, 20 minutes later, but I was like, what is going on? And I was just, like, a random thing, and it was no big deal at the time until we got to Miami, where they had to check my bags because I brought home sand and seashells for my brother and for the ladies, and they stopped me, and they literally searched me. They searched my bag, and it took a solid hour to get out of the Miami, the Miami TSA. And everybody was making fun of me, and it was really embarrassing. And it just made the day a whole lot worse. So I missed my flight in Atlanta, which kind of sucked because they changed gates. But eventually I got home 2 hours after I was supposed to. And it was really emotional seeing my mom for the first time. She was crying and then asked me why I was crying. She's like, "Why are you crying?" And I was like, "I just miss you, okay?" And it was really good to see my parents, and just a lot of emotions coming back. What I learned, I'm sorry, this is a really long presentation, but I have a lot to say. Poverty is everywhere in multiple forms, so it's not just like people who don't have clothes or anything or a home or anything like that. It's also spiritual poverty, people that don't know God. It's also emotional poverty, just people who, it's everywhere in many different forms. And then also missions is a lifestyle, not just going overseas, because while it's a great thing to do, it's a great thing to work in your community too, just in church and doing God's kingdom work all the time. Friends can be found internationally, so I made a ton of friends and I stay in touch with them, and they live 2,000 miles away, and it's okay. And never take your parents for granted. So like the kids who were sold by their parents, never take your parents for granted. Like, I swear, I got known, everybody still makes fun of me to this day for my group, because I said I just love my mom at least 20 times in one night. Because I was just like, I just love my mom, and they make fun of me all the time for saying that, because I just repeated it over and over again. Also, advocate for others. Those who can't advocate for themselves, you need to advocate for them. Someone has to do it. Why not you? Also, surround yourself with good, positive people. I found out that surrounding myself with negative people who just bring me down and bring me farther away from God isn't a good thing. Surprise, surprise. But just being around people that were there for one purpose, just to serve God, is one of the best things you can do in your life. Also, be kinder, which I really need to work on because I have a really smart mouth. I need to work on that, and I learned to work on that. And also be open to new people, because I'm also I can be very shy and very reserved. And like now, everybody's been telling me that I seem happier and I'm more open, and I'm really working on getting better at that. Okay, and then we had our high points, low points, and our takeaways. My high point was being at the beach and experiencing true joy. That was my high, always happy point. My low point was seeing the poor treatment of people with physical and mental disabilities, and it was hard. That was the low point for me. My takeaway: value family and friends more. I just love my mom. I said that so many times. I still say it. And also complain less, which I do a lot of. So I need to stop complaining as much. Life isn't that bad. And then I have my thanks, Jeannie Stevens and the ladies of Willow Creek Group Home, Brad Powell, Matt and Michelle Harris, Sam and Emily Ledesma, Cheryl Green, Donna and Estel Kersey, the Shannons, the Merrifields, my wonderful mom, dad, and brother, can't forget them, Brian and Stephanie Mason, Gus Arndt, Ike Whitaker, Jody Mitchum, my grandparents, Trina McCarl, Don Arndt, everyone from ACC, literally everyone from ACC. If I could see each one of you and talk to each one of you individually, I would say thank you, honest. I couldn't have made this happen without you guys. And I'm very blessed because of all the prayers and all the financial support, emotional support, just everything. I really do love you guys, and it brought me closer to God, it brought me closer to other people, and it brought me closer to congregation, and I'm so blessed to have you guys in my life. So, thank you for that. That's all I have.
All right, so like I said, she went on the engaged trip. We have some other girls here that are looking at doing a trip here. I'm gonna have Malik come up and talk real quick about Ireland, and then we'll wrap it up. So short, sweet,
To the point.
to the point.
Always Yes. Hi, so Ashlee had their amazing trip, and she's been doing a lot of kingdom work. But it doesn't just stop there after one trip. There's still so much to do around the world. And an underlying theme at CIY was Move to Ireland. CIY, it's the full name's like CIY Move, so play on words, Move to Ireland. And they're wanting to spread the CIY experience to Europe and probably like continue if it continues to be successful. And they kind of chose Ireland because it's not like there's a lot of the Dominican Republic problems, but it's more just that the country as a whole is kind of falling away from Christ and religion, and the numbers are going down statistically of who's going to church every week and who has a active walk with Christ. So yeah, they're asking for the people at CIY to really pray for Ireland every day, and so they also made this challenge. They were like, you could take this envelope, and that would be saying, hey, I'm, what would we call it? Committing $100. Yeah. We're committing $100, but I partnered with Michaela and a bunch of other people. So I just want to say that Move's been a really good experience, not even just a really good experience, just like a life-changing experience for so many people, and it really reorients you and gets you. It helps you form relationships with other Christians, and I'm just a really strong believer in just this, and that it's just done so much for me. So if you've talked to a kid who's gone to CIY or know anything about it, you know it's been good, and if you believe in moving and helping CIY get to Ireland, then this is basically just asking for money, like a money donation. I'll just be straightforward. I'm asking for a money donation. We're looking for $200, and if you just believe in this cause, and I just ask that you talk to like Ashley or me or Ashley or Michaela or those boys over there. They probably talked to you too because they were there. And so if you want more information or anything like that, yeah. They'd be very happy to talk to you. So thank you.
I just wanted to say real quick, sorry, I know, short, sweet, to the point, I get it. I just really wanted to stress how important CIY is to help with the healing of hearts, especially in young people. I know that I can attest to this, that it really does work, the healing process through CIY. And the hearts that get filled, sorry, I'm getting emotional. The hearts that get filled through this program, this convention, it's unbelievable how God works that way. And we really want to bring this to Ireland. 90% of the population identify as Roman Catholic, but only about 30% practice. We were shown a video of this boy who was, well, to put it bluntly, about to commit suicide. And his grandfather stopped him and came in and he said, let's fix what we can today. And that really resonated because that is something that we can fix today. Even if it's just $1, 50 cents, a quarter, it doesn't matter. That's still something to go towards filling these hearts with the Word of God. So, that's all
All right, I just want to thank everybody from the congregation that helps get these kids here. It really does change lives. I know, Ashlee doing her engaged trip, and we have some others that are interested in doing that. I just be in prayer for them, be in prayer for the parents of those kids who want to go. Just help them, give them peace, and parents, talk to Mike and Michelle, because I know they struggle with Cena and Ashlee, and just be in prayer for them, and thank you for all your support. It was a good time. Exhausting, but good. But I'm going to go ahead and close this in prayer, and then you guys enjoy the rest of your day.